It takes a village, supporting students suffering from toxic stress in an ever-changing society. What makes a great school? According to thebestschools.org, even though some schools may seem to have unfair advantages, better resources, more money, etc., the common denominator, however, is that all schools, working with what they have, create environments that are highly effective at stimulating learning and fostering personal growth. In a 2008 report published by the Poverty Action Lab, it was found that a strong start in elementary school had lasting effects on students. Chetty and Associates note that study found that smaller class sizes raised college attendance, more experienced teachers increased future earnings of their students, and higher quality classrooms improved both college attendance and future earnings. Researchers found that the positive effects of early childhood education on test scores diminish over time, but the positive effects on non-cognitive outcomes persist through adulthood. For USD 449 in Easton, Kansas, the pervasive problem is toxic stress. Toxic stress is when strong, frequent, or prolonged adverse experiences, such as extreme poverty or repeated abuse, are experienced without adult support. It is important that the Pleasant Ridge schools of USD 449 work to combat toxic stress for the benefit of the students and the community as a whole. Harvard University notes the future of any society depends on its ability to foster the healthy development of the next generation. The solution for PRES is positive adult involvement. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, the antidote to toxic stress is safe, stable, and nurturing relationships. And that is what we must work to develop and grow as a community and as a school. Some of the challenges for USD 449 in the face of toxic stress are positive parent involvement. According to Beyond the Classroom, Why School Reform Has Failed and What Parents Need to Do by Lawrence Steinberg, nearly 1/3 of students say their parents have no idea how they are doing in school. About 1/6 of all students report that their parents don't care whether they make good grades in school or not, and only 1/5 of parents consistently attend school programs. More than 40% of parents never do. It is important to approach the issue of absent, non-communicative, or uninvolved parents with grace and empathy. Involvement is often out of their control due to a parent's incarceration, their poverty, transportation issues, schedules such as working double shifts, or even substance abuse. All of these things must be approached with love and patience if we are to build relationships. The solution? Family engagement created by school outreach, enthusiasm, and empathy. According to Hanover research shows that family engagement is important to student achievement and success, as parents who feel intimidated by or excluded from their child's school environment may be less likely to engage in their child's education and may be less able to support student success. By bringing parents in with outreach, showing enthusiasm, and demonstrating empathy, this creates a positive cycle that works to mitigate the effects of the cycle of toxic stress our families often suffer from. To begin reaching our stakeholders, Pleasant Ridge will create an action team, as suggested by Edutopia. This team should include the principal, 2 to 3 teachers, 2 to 3 family members, and others in the school or community important to the school's work with families, a counselor, social worker, business partner, and so on, depending on the school context, suggests Ann O'Brien. For PRES, we will focus on 3 teachers, 3 parents, an administrator, and 3 community members willing to devote their time to help build positive relationships in our school and in our community. Stephanie Hoover writes for Edutopia on the importance of providing opportunities for our families that might be scarce in a rural community like Easton. In 1997, she wrote, "Since the social and recreational opportunities for children and parents are almost non existent in our community, that's another area we address. One night a week, we babysit the kids so a group of moms, the Tuesday night Tootsies, and the dads, the Tootsie Pops, can do whatever they want at the school. Play volleyball, hold baby showers, sing, make crafts. We arrange special events such as an evening in the computer lab, during which parents can learn about keyboarding, word processing, and working with graphics. At another time, parents and students might get together to use the center's laptops to compose stories and create Christmas cards. This access to technology, as limited as it is, gives even the poorest parents the chance to develop computer literacy skills. This is an important element of parent and community outreach to provide opportunities that might be difficult or impossible for our rural communities. The Ohio Education Department recommends offering services to help build trust and positive relationships in rural community schools. For instance, set up a community expo at the school for health and human service agencies, perhaps in conjunction with a school festival or parent-teacher night. PRES will work to create opportunities for Miles for Smiles, for the Leavenworth County Health Department, and the Leavenworth County Food Bank to provide free or discounted services to our families that need it most. Having access to these services can help ease some of the burden and help to mitigate toxic stress. These services will be provided at open opportunities such as parent night or back to school night, kindergarten roundup, etc., as necessary. The Ohio Education Department also recommends opening your school's facilities for community events. Involve families in non-academic areas such as school sports programs, bands, home economics, vocational agriculture, and choir. PRES already serves as the community center for the Easton Youth League, but in addition, we would like to begin open activities such as volleyball on family nights to encourage an open and welcoming school environment. Another struggle for rural communities can be reliable transportation. To help ensure parent involvement, PRES will begin a special bus route for parents without transportation to key school events such as family activity nights, conferences, or award ceremonies. This service will ensure the involvement of stakeholders who want but struggle to be present in their students' lives and activities, because a present, stable parent is key to healing toxic stress. Multiple forms of communication will be implemented in addition to the current Twitter and auto texting services. As the Ohio Education Department recommends, use informal networks such as phone trees to contact families. Communicate school news, not just through written newsletters and bulletins, but also through a phone hotline so that those with low literacy skills have equal access to information. Mail communications to families because some rural families may not have internet or telephone. It is unfair to assume that all rural families have access to reliable technology. This lack of communication can create frustration and build distance and distrust between strained families and their schools. To combat this, PRES will begin sending out an actual paper newsletter to all families each quarter, or if there is a special event or change. By providing necessary services, creating a welcoming environment, and opening up communication, USD 449 can create an environment conducive to positive interactions and healthy relationships. This is essential to help students succeed and go on to graduate. This is beneficial to the whole community because as graduation rates climb, so does the post-secondary success of our students. This post-secondary success leads to higher rates of employment, salary, and continued education because students who achieve more academically achieve more financially, and this helps the entire community. Students who are gainfully employed after school are also more likely to have health insurance. Having health insurance leads to healthier communities as a whole, as well as relieving some of the financial burden placed on the county's taxes. A healthy community means less toxic stress for current and future generations. Helping families mitigate and avoid toxic stress also leads to a lower prison population. Formerly incarcerated are twice as likely to have no high school credentials. Parental incarceration is an adverse childhood experience that can traumatize a student as well as create a toxically stressful environment for an entire home. By helping students graduate, we are helping to lessen the number of incarcerated adults today and tomorrow. Less toxic stress means lower dropout rates. Higher graduation rates have exponential positive effects on a community. For instance, an increase of just 5% in male graduation rates could result in an $18.5 billion reduction in annual crime costs. The same 5% increase could result in a decrease in incidences of assault by 60,000 and larceny by over 37,000. The national spending average to educate a student is just over $12,600, while the cost to house an inmate is over $28,000. Cutting the national dropout rate would save the country over $7.3 billion in annual Medicaid spending. Increasing the national high school graduation rate to 90% would create over 65,000 new jobs, boosting the economy by as much as $10.9 billion. So, our hope for our students and communities suffering from toxic stress lies in all of us working together, because parent and stakeholder involvement means greater success for students today and in the future. Greater success for students means a stronger, more successful community. We all depend upon each other to move forward.